Hey everyone, Kaori here with Eric as always. Welcome back to A Dollar at a Time. Today, we're digging into something that sounds simple on the surface, but honestly, it gets messy fast. Credit cards. Specifically, how many credit cards is too many? You ever open your wallet, Eric, and just, sigh at the stack?
Oh, absolutely. If I'm honest, there was a time I had a wallet thick enough to use as a doorstop. Loyalty cards, credit cards, gym cards, you name it. But credit cards, look, there's something particular about them, right? It's that every new card somehow feels like a fresh start, until it, isn't. Suddenly you're juggling way too many payments, perks you don't remember, and, inevitably, that creeping sense of, I might be losing track here.
It's exactly like kitchen clutter, isn't it? The more utensils you have, the less you use any of them. I still remember when I was living in Osaka, I actually had 6 credit cards at one point. 6! I told myself, 1 for groceries, 1 for travel, 1 for online shopping. But honestly, it just made me anxious. End of every month, it was like, which card did I actually use? Where is the bill? What's the login password now? If your wallet is chaotic, your mind gets chaotic too. There are, real studies on this, how financial clutter amplifies stress and overspending.
It's true. I read a study from the Japanese Consumer Affairs Agency that showed people with more credit cards had higher rates of missed payments and impulse buys. And I think it's easy to rationalise, just one more for points. But then what you get is, confusion. And frankly, it kind of disconnects you from where your money's actually going. Do you remember which card you put the groceries on last month? I rarely could.
Literally, I felt more peace once I cut mine down. It was so freeing. Maybe that's my inner minimalist talking, but I do feel that physical clutter mirrors mental and even emotional clutter. Like in Kakeibo, remember from episode 3? It's not just about the numbers, it's also the feeling of control. When you're intentional with what you keep, you're intentional with what you spend.
That's a great callback. And just like we talked about in our episode on overspending, the more complicated our system, the easier it is to fall into unhealthy patterns. Too many cards, you lose track, you spend more, and you stress more. It's all connected.
So let's get really practical. Why not just stick with 2 credit cards? Ideally, those no annual fee ones we always hear about. For me, the peace came from knowing I had 1 card for everyday expenses and 1 as a backup, like for emergencies or travel. That's it. No more, no less.
Yeah, and, this isn't financial advice, but if you're picking your final 2, I'd say look for cards with rewards that you'll actually use. Not those shiny offers where you think, I might book flights to Bali someday. But really, it's all spent at the supermarket. No annual fee is a must for me. Why hand out money for nothing, eh?
Exactly. I always tell people, your backup card shouldn't be your just in case I'm tempted card. It's there for legit reasons, like you lose your main card or there's fraud. I know someone, my cousin, she kept an old points card thinking, what if someday? But you know what? She never used it, just paid that fee every year.
Let me share a listener story actually. I got an email last week. They'd gone from 5 cards down to 2, both with no fees, and said the biggest change was just not missing payments anymore. Suddenly they could see what they spent when it was due. And, this is my favourite bit, they said they felt more in control. And budgeting got easier. Simple as that.
It's also about reducing temptation. I might be biased, but when you only have 2 cards, there's just less opportunity for the sneaky splurge. Fewer cards, fewer bills, less stress. You keep what works for your life. Like we said before, Japanese wisdom is all about that balance.
And a really practical tip. Next time you're tempted by a flashy offer, just ask, does this actually add value to my life? Or is it just more digital clutter? You'd be surprised how often it's the latter.
Here's the big myth. You need lots of cards to have a great credit score. So many people come to me worried, if I close my cards, won't my score tank? But if you listen to experts, the focus should shift to how you manage your credit, not just how many accounts you have. And honestly, obsessing over that number, it's draining.
I always say, credit scores are like your bathroom scales. You check too much, it messes with your head. Most financial planners argue, and I agree. It's better to have a couple of well-managed cards than a binder full of unused plastic. Quality over quantity, with credit just like with friends. And history matters. Keeping a couple going steadily is often enough. The rest is just noise.
My grandmother, she never knew her score, but she always paid attention to her flow of money. How much came in, how much went out. And that's it. She said, don't worry about numbers you can't control. Focus on what's real. And for her, it was liberating. If you're always tracking the score but feeling anxious, what's the point?
There's something quite freeing, isn't there, about ditching the obsession. When we talked about mindful habits in our earlier episodes, like with Kakebo, it always came down to intention. Long term, it's those habits that improve your financial health. The score mostly follows along, you know.
Exactly. We've seen whether it's savings, decluttering, or mindful spending, when you focus on daily habits, the rest sorts itself out. If I could give just one piece of advice today, it'd be, don't let your score be the boss of you. Let your purpose be the boss. Kind of cheesy, but I mean it.
Not cheesy at all, Kaori. That's spot on. So wherever you are with your credit cards, maybe tonight, just take them all out, lay them on the table, see which ones still serve you. You might find more peace with less.
We'll leave it there for this episode. Thank you for listening and going on this journey with us. One mindful dollar at a time. Eric, always a pleasure.
Always, Kaori. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Until next week, take care and don't let your wallet weigh you down.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.